A bit of sad news this week. Former Congresswoman Pat Schroeder died at 82. Schroeder was the first woman elected to Congress from Colorado, serving 24 years. She was a champion for women's rights, who was known for her sharp wit. I interviewed her a couple years ago, and she told me her favorite question from the media was, "Why are you running as a woman?" Mike, she paved the way for so many women in politics. You know?
No, she was great. From a campaign operative point of view, I loved her slogan when she ran it: "If she wins, we win." Arnie Grossman was the one who came up with that, legendary messaging PR guy, and I thought that, just so succinctly really did capture her. I mean, she winning, a lot of us did win, and it's been good for us. And I also remember as a student, we went out to Washington to meet with our congressional delegation. She was the only elected official in Congress from Colorado who met with the students.
Wow.
And I appreciated that, and she really genuinely gave her time.
Jim Benjamin remembered meeting with her. He said, I was some young 25-year-old, and she took the time
that meant
to meet.
A lot.
Yeah, right. Remember, she said at the time that people thought that she won by accident because her name was Pat, and some people may have voted for her.
Well, then, whatever it takes.
Yeah, right. I know. Congresswoman DeGette told me that every politician can learn from Schroeder's way of handling challenges and conflict, because she did it with dignity and with wit.
Yeah, I was thinking, Sean, when I saw she passed away, I worked for Senator Bill Armstrong, who was a very conservative Republican back in the 80s. And I remember those two had a very cordial relationship. They never, and I remember when he passed away, that her comments about him were so generous and kind about what a gentleman he was. I think about that because I think, what happened to that era?
Right.
It's just sad that we don't. But how she got elected to that is a great story about. Nobody gave her any possibility to beat Congressman McKevitt that year, and she did. So.
Yeah, and then almost ran for president.
Yeah.
Decided not to, but do you remember the press conference?
I do. I do.
Yeah,
I mean, certainly it had its controversy, and the fairness of the situation is still debated to this day, about tears coming to her eyes and how she was viewed as a woman versus how men are in that situation. It's to this day still, one of those debates that goes on. Double standard.
Double standard, for sure. Yeah, she said to me she should have been sponsored by Kleenex after that.
The other thing, legacy she had, Sean, she was notorious for her casework, for helping constituents. And I think Mike would remember that as well. Probably unprecedented, other than maybe Perlmutter several years later. But she.
And you knew her district director, Kip.
Kip Schroeder.
Well, Kip gets a lot of credit for that casework.
Yes.
I mean, he was very diligent about that, as well as Vanita Vincent, who was her chief of staff, an African-American woman who was also very diligent in serving her in the district office.
Yeah. It's quite a loss. It was good to see, though, that she was remembered not just here in Colorado, but on a national level, really.